Underwriting for a Piece of the Woods was brought to you by Tenonizer Technology, providing the log industry equipment to simplify perfection. Great Woods Cabinetry, providing custom cabinetry and more from online to on-site. From Minnesota, an online resource for log enthusiasts. And Quality Manufacturing, building quality portable sawmills is in their reputation. Closed captioning for a Piece of the Woods was made possible by Schroeder Log Home Supply.
To every outdoor person, a campfire marks the beginning and end of a good day. Being out in the woods, many of us, is our way to reflect, to regroup, and to plan ahead. Some of us have more to plan than others, so we're going to show you how to take this and bring it inside. What better way to start than a fireplace mantle? So join with us as we make a log fireplace mantle on today's A Piece of the Woods. There's several different styles of mantle you can make. This is one that's a little bit more simple in that it's just a half log with a flat cut across the back of it, with the steel brackets on it fastened to the cabinet, and then the stonework around it. Very simple, but very nice. Or even like this one here. This one's a quarter log fastened to an existing brick wall. And hey, look, there's no fireplace, but it still looks really choice here. But today we're making a mantle that's got a lookout, the mantle that goes over the top. They get scribed together and all fitted together nice. And we're going to be using wood from this pile here. This is northern white cedar. And this has been drying, it's drying, wet, dry, wet, but it's been sitting here for about a year and a half. We're going to pull out of this pile here. Now, we want something with a lot of character, a curve in it's good, knobs on it, that's really good. And I like this log right here on top, this one. So we're going to pull this one from the pile here and bring it over to the sawmill. Now this northern white cedar is one of the few trees that we've got around here that we can pull the bark off of. Actually, we can store it outside for a year or so. And it's not going to hurt the tree at all, but it makes the bark so the bark comes off without having to use the pressure washer. Now we got one mark in the top of this thing we're going to try and cut out of here, or we have to cut off. I think it was a lightning strike or something a few years ago that left a weird kind of a scar. See how that cedar bark comes off here so nice? And the wood is still very, very good underneath. I don't like to pull the bark off until we get it close to the mill because this stuff protects it pretty nice. Like having a banana still in the peel. You don't want to peel it in the morning and then put it in your lunchbox. other thing about white cedar that's kind of unique, you never know what you're going to get until you cut the thing in half and open it up. So let's see what we've got. You want to flip that end over, Josh? Can you get that? Slide her down. Look at that. And it is. It's nice and solid. We got her made. This will work out really good. When we're done with this, it's going to be a 6-foot mantle. Right now, we're going to cut it a little bit long. We're going to have Josh sand and buff this. We'll find the lookouts. Now our mantle runs from 10.5 to 12 inches wide, and we want the lookout to be about half the width of that. Now, James was asking me why in the world you call it a lookout, and that's because the thing sets at about, this height, and if you have something sitting there, and once it's mounted on the wall, you better look out. You're going to have a big old bruise on the side of your head. So we want something that has some nice character to it, about 5.5, 6 inches in diameter, and we got this one here looks pretty good. Oh, it's even got this nice little scar here. That'll look really nice. We'll get this blocked up into length. Let's see, our mantle width plus about 6 inches. So we'll go say, what does that make? 18 inches wide or 18 inches long, and we'll keep on going. We've blocked our lookout post, or our lookouts, into 18-inch lengths, and we've got to get to the next thing here. And the place where this fireplace mantle is going is where they have a fireplace insert that's being put into the house. Now with a fireplace insert, that means that there's a plywood kind of a cabinet that goes around it, and they put cultured stone over the top of it. Looks real, but it's the mantle is real, okay? So we've got to get these lookouts here so they fasten solidly to that plywood cabinet around the insert. So what we do is we have a nice steel bracket that we're going to fasten to the ends of our lookouts that gets fastened to the cabinet, which we're going to do here at the shop rather than out at the job site, because all those tools are heavy to carry out there and it's much easier here. So we have to get our post, but now I've already got one done. So we're going to take this other one and we're going to cut it so it fits exactly flat to our piece of steel so it can fasten to the cabinet. So we're going to set it on top of this flat surface here, and then I take a little square and look at it and go, oh man, this is not square at all. I didn't cut it straight. So I'm going to shim this up and put little shims in there, check it again with the square and look at it, and I need to go a little bit more with that way. No, that doesn't look too bad there. That's pretty good. And we'll take then and hold on to this, and we'll take our little pencil, set it on the flat surface, and we're going to scribe right around here. And you can see that pencil mark there. Once I get all the way around here, I'm going to take the sander, I'm going to sand down to the pencil mark, and it's going to leave me a surface just as flat as this piece of plywood. Well, now that we got these done, Josh, why don't you take these and get those sanded and buffed. And while he's doing that, that gives us enough time to take a walk in the woods. On today's Forest Minute, how to make a profitable forest. This is an example of cut the best and leave the rest. It's pretty, but it won't pay the taxes. A clear cut is so much better in so many ways. In this case, everything was cut down. The junk trees, all the good stuff was harvested, and we get the result, concentrated regrowth of aspen. It's grown up just tremendously good, and this ground does make good popple, good aspen. This little spot right here is an example of something that you don't want to see. You don't want to come in, pull the high grade out, leave the rest, because when you pull the best and leave the rest, what you get is stuff like this oak tree here. And the ground here makes terrible oak trees. It takes very good ground to make good oak trees. But this kind of ground makes real good pine trees. This is a field-planted, plantation-style forest. It has both beauty and investment value. But how do you get this to be this? It's a process. Now we've got the height from the top of this lookout up to the top of our bracket of 5 inches. Oh, yeah, this is our fixture for assembling the fireplace mantles here at the shop. This is a simulated fireplace insert back module, okay? Anyhow, so we can make them right here, take them out to the job site. Much easier, okay? Anyhow, 5 inches here going up. Now we'll match that to the other one. So you got 5 inches here, and I've got kind of matched character as far as the lookouts, the way that they set. So we'll just take 8 of these little screws here and shoot them in. And once this gets all put together, there is no way anybody's going to put anything on top of this mantle that's going to cause it to move. Now we're going with a 6-foot mantle, so we want to have our lookout spaced at approximately 4 foot, or a foot in from each side. In this case, we're going to be 50 inches center. From the center of one lookout to the center of the next, we'll have 50 inches. Okay, where's the nuts for these? There they are. Okay. Oh, now we've got to get this thing positioned so it's level, and we want to maintain space behind it from the back side of our mantle up to our mock-up fireplace thing here. Right now we're going to have about 3.5 inches space, so that once they set the stonework on the fireplace, that we'll still have about 1.5 inches, 1 3/4 of space between the back of the fire, or the back of the mantle, and the stonework, so we don't make a spot for heat to get trapped in there. And a lot of these inserts, they require a space between the mantle and the stonework, so there's no fire potential. Don't want to burn your house down. Okay. Well, I've got 2 inches of room that I can trim. And we're right on a knot on that end, which is kind of a pain. So in order to get it how close are we to being? Oh, now that's too thick of a rock. It's like 3.5 inches there. That should be good. Okay, now we got to get it so it don't rock the other way. What we have for you today is, normally we'd scribe this using this nice little scriber here, you know, 100 and some bucks, but you probably wouldn't want to spend 100 and some bucks just for a scriber for one mantle. So we've put together this. We've got a bubble level set on our little block of wood, pencil tape, see how it's cut here, and this little cut here. So we have a scribe space, about 7/8 of an inch. Now, altogether, it's about $1.50, maybe $2. At any rate, it's still accurate to a couple of thousands. We've got this set on a plumb line. Here, come down here. Can you take a look down here? Look down here for a second. This wall is plumb right here, and I put a mark on it, and I have set my little bubble level, and the pencil and all the tape and stuff is set so that when it's on the plumb line, it is exactly level. So we're going to be able to scribe this with the precision of a tool that might cost, 100, 150 bucks for what, $1.25, $2, okay? Helpful hint for the day. There we go. Now you can scribe this. It's been set, so we'll just watch the level, little bubble, and come around here and make sure that we get a mark all the way around. And the idea is not to be able to tell which one was cut, the lookout or the mantle.
On this mantle, he had the best of intentions. I know the guy, he's always pushing for excellence, but he just didn't know how to get this to fit correct. And over here, on this side, this frustrated him so bad. You see the spaces in here? He tried to do good, but he just didn't know how to make it work.
Now once you've got it scribed and ready to cut it out, trust the line. Mark it precisely, cut it precisely, no coloring outside the lines, okay? We finished our scribe here. Now we want to put the mounting holes in. We're going to drill 2 holes from this side, because sometimes this is kind of a small target to hit from the other side. So we're going to drill through with a 1/4 inch hole here. Now just follow me, all right? It's a 1-inch Milwaukee bit with a 1/4 inch follower in it. Now it'll follow that hole we just drilled. These holes will get plugged later when it's all done. Now we're going to drill it out to a 3/8 because we're using a 3/8 leg bolt on it. There's a little pencil mark on top that I put right at the scribe there that should line it all up. Can you tell which one was cut, the mantle or the lookout? Looks pretty close. Next step is to trim off the ends of these logs here, our lookouts. We want to have, in this case, I think we'll go, so we have maybe 1 inch of lookout past the end of the mantle, and I put a mark up on top of here before we set the mantle on it. That puts me right there, would be the edge of the cutoff line right here. So we have the same space here between the end of the lookout and the mantle, about 1.25 inches. Continue that down just a little bit. Okay. Okay, I can see the mark on the other side, so using the plumb line, I am just sighting the line, the mark, and marking the log, and it is like it was done with a laser laser technology today is so cool. Now we've taken the mantle off so we can trim the ends of it, cut it to length, and get it all sanded. And then we'll put it back up in place. Well, we've got it all trimmed up, sanded up pretty, and put back in place. Now, if this was in your house, you could call it done now, all except for putting a finish on it, but you could call it done. But since this one is being moved out to the job site where they're going to install it, put the stonework on, one of the things they're going to have to be able to do is take the mantle off. The lookouts will be mounted. They'll have to take the mantle off so they can put the stonework on. Once the stonework's on, they put the mantle back on. Critical point here is these cannot be allowed to move. So what we have to do is we have to put this spacer up here to lock the position of the mantle, or the lookouts, so they can do the stonework and then put it back. And this will just stay here until the stonework's done, the mantle's put back in place, everything all finished. Then the little board can come off.
Turn it.
Yeah. You see the line on the far side? Where are you? Oh. Just a little bit longer. We're not there yet. Probably too easy. That's the installation. Really tough, huh? Now we got to have it ready for the guys to come in and put the stonework on. So we're going to just watch here. Now when they put all the stonework on this, they got mud flying all over the place. So we're going to put this little baggie behind here. And then we'll tape it up near where at the end of the lookout. And that'll keep it all protected. There, we'll keep this safe from all them mud men and their stones. Well, that's all we can do for right now. Hopefully they get the stonework done on here and we can put the mantle back on before I need another haircut, huh? Well, they so graciously left all of our packaging and the little board in place. Now this is all supposed to work. Everything is supposed to fit. So let's take it apart, put it together, get it all done. It's always a curious thing, making sure nobody bumped anything or knocked it out of place. And of course, they wouldn't do that, would they? No. Not on purpose.
That looks very nice. Can you reach them?
Almost.
There. Josh hasn't got too much to say today. He had 2 wisdom teeth out on Wednesday. He's still recuperating a little bit.
A little sore.
No, you put the plugs in it, glue these guys in there, and sand them off, and oh, that fits very nice.
Feel like add to the shoe shine boy there.
It's flat, level, and what's very important, come and look at this here. Come look. See the joint here? That's the way it's supposed to look right there. Where you can't tell which piece was cut, but they're joined precisely. And perfect is good enough. Well, that's what we have for you today with our log fireplace mantle. So join us again next time for another A Piece of the Woods.
For a copy of this episode or for questions and information, go to www.apieceofthewoods.com. Closed captioning for A Piece of the Woods was made possible by Shorter Log Home Supply. Underwriting for A Piece of the Woods was brought to you by Tenonizer Technology, providing the log industry equipment to simplify perfection. Great Woods Cabinetry, providing custom cabinetry and more from online to on-site. From Minnesota, an online resource for log enthusiasts. And Quality Manufacturing, building quality portable sawmills is in their reputation.